Hey guys, it's Runner Peru here. Okay, so this is going to be the initial impressions of the Linnhue WK1000 reel. I did get a chance to use it Friday morning. I do want to be honest with you guys, I didn't really use it all that much, and there's a reason for that. So I went with a buddy of mine up to the Eastern Sierras. Nowhere fancy. We just went to a place called Intake 2 near Bishop, and we got lucky enough in that they had just stocked it with some average size stocker rainbow trout, and wow, we had such a blast. It was basically non-stop fish after fish after fish every single cast. I had my 2022 Shimano Aldebaran on my recently acquired Jackson Kawasami Rhapsody telescoping rod. That rod is a phenomenal rod. The only issue with that rod is that at the very end of the trip, it actually broke on me. And I'm not sure if that's just from, the stress of having landed, like 50 fish. I kid you not, 50 fish. From those stalkers, and then the last fish that I was able to land on it was randomly a 2.3 pound carp. The rod didn't break while I was actually fishing or landing that fish. The rod broke a little bit later when I went to pack down the rod, and it's kind of weird. It broke in a couple places, but it was all in the very tip section. Anyways, I'll talk about that a little bit later. What I want to do is give you guys the initial impressions. And so that's the reason why I didn't fish with this particular setup too much. I had this on my Sorinoya Elf trout rod, which is, I think, a 6 foot, quote unquote trout rod. It casts. It casts. It doesn't cast nearly as far as I could get with the Aldebaran Jackson combo, or my friend who was using an Ace Hawk CU double with the Sorinoya Dark Wolf Ultra. That setup that he was using was inadvertently set back to the static brakes, and I'll kind of go over that in a different video as well, because I know that there's been some debate on whether the static brakes that Sorinoya is now shipping their Dark Wolf Ultras with is good enough or not, and I think it is good enough at the end of the day. But anyways, so this particular reel, it casts with a caveat, and the caveat is that because this reel, it's a $20 reel and it's a little bit cheaply made, the handles, you can see that the handles are all kind of loose, and so it feels kind of clunky, right? The reel is also quite big in the hand, at least to me. I like to be able to completely palm my reels. On this one, I feel like I'm, really having to kind of really manhandle this reel, instead of, like the Dark Wolf Ultra and the Aldebaran are kind of a palmable size. And I really like that. This reel is also quite heavy compared to those other two reels. And normally, I actually prefer kind of a reel with a little bit of heft to it, but actually after fishing for long hours on this trip, I do appreciate the lightness of those other reels. And the longer throw in my first video on this, I thought I would actually like, but going to the shorter 80 millimeter throw on the Dark Wolf Ultra and the Aldebaran, I much prefer that now. This reel has a dry clicker, so you can hear it. It's not the best sounding drag clicker, but it is a drag clicker, and it does have a star drag clicker as well. So, it has a drag clicker. It's only got 6 bearings, which they say it's got N+1. No, it has 6 bearings. If you're interested in this reel, I would suggest that you upgrade some of those bearings. You'll get a little bit more distance out of it. The side plate, it doesn't lock. It's just a twist down. It's just a friction fit. Which isn't a problem. The nose piece is a really, really thin ABS, and I think I actually cracked mine already. I don't know if you could, yeah, you probably can't see it in there. And what else? The spool tension adjustment is not clicking. It is a 7.2 to 1 gear ratio and not 6.3 like it's printed here. it is that 7.2 wherever it is on this little handle plate. Oh, right there, 7.2 to 1. So that's the gear ratio. Yeah, if I had to guess, I would say that it probably consistently casts maybe 20 feet shorter in terms of casting distance. And what we were casting were pretty much 5-gram lures, like the Sorry copy of the Ryuki Spearhead Duo. And then a 5-gram Shimano spoon is what I was casting. I can't give you an actual distance because I haven't measured it yet, and hopefully I'll be able to get out soon on a cooler day where I can actually cast and measure distances between this reel, the Aldebaran, and the Dark Wolf Ultra, and then another reel that I have coming in. Yeah, so for 20 bucks, it's you can't. It's really hard to say no to this reel. It's got a drag clicker, and there's other more expensive reels out there that still don't have drag clickers. Would I go to this reel if it were mine and I had other choices? No, I would definitely keep this as like a backup and not a preferred backup, not something that I would really have fun. But then, I have other choices. So if you're just looking to get into BFS just to see what it's about, then yeah, this is it's hard to say that this is a bad option to go with just because you're going to be saving so much money. Anyways, so one of the viewers wanted to see what the spool weight is. I'm not going to take off the bearing for this one or the line that I have. It's just going to be a real rough weight. I will do a teardown video of this, and so if you guys wanted to see what the end cap looks like or the side plate, looks like that. Magnets look pretty rough. I don't think that really matters though, but your standard bearing, no lock. The finish is actually pretty decent. I haven't scratched it yet to see if it's nylon reinforced plastics. But then you can also see the wonderful 3 is an E. What I was casting with is about, I think it was like a 4 or a 5, and I was still having to actually thumb the spool to make sure that it doesn't blow up on me. The casts were a little bit on the inconsistent side, like some casts would go a little bit further, some casts wouldn't go out very far at all, and some casts I would get, huge bird nests out of nowhere. So, maybe if you get a little more practice on the water with this particular reel, you'll kind of get a feel for it and then get some consistency out of it in terms of casts. But I wasn't really able to do so, and because I'm able to consistently cast with my Aldebaran, I just kind of went back to that, unfortunately, for this trip. But anyways, so let's get a weight on this. Maybe you guys can see that there. It looks like it's zeroed out and it's in grams. And so here we go. So it looks like, I don't know if you guys can see that at all, but what I'm reading is 13 grams on the spool, and that's with the bearing, that's with the pin, and that's with a whole bunch of line. I don't know, probably shave off like 2 grams or so for the bearing and the line. That's what I'm guessing. I will do a teardown, and I will get a non-bearing, non-fishing line weight on there on the spool for you guys. And yeah, so again, would I recommend this reel? Yeah, if you have 20 bucks and you just kind of want to have another reel for a backup, or if you want to have a reel to kind of let a friend borrow, or just to have a backup so that you can have another reel in your arsenal, I guess, then it's hard to say no to this. I mean, the drag clicker is there. It casts, it's 20 bucks. It doesn't look absolutely terrible. It does have some funny font and printing. Hopefully they'll get better with that. If I were to keep this and want to fish it, I would definitely change out this handle, because this handle is, at least the knobs, and kind of get it so that there's tighter fitting knobs, it's pretty terrible. The star clicker is something else I would swap out with something a little bit easier to get to and kind of more substantial feeling, because this thing feels absolutely cheap. What else would I do? I would add bearings wherever I can, at least the orange steel ceramics, because they're so cheap. What's another 15 bucks on top of this $20 reel? I did check the sale price, and it's still there, so I don't know when they're going to actually increase the price to the quote-unquote 41 or so dollars that they have on that ad. Oh, the last thing, sorry, is this a Zephyr variant? no, this is not a Zephyr clone. And the way that I found that out was I actually looked at a teardown video of the Zephyr and saw that the spool shaft is actually a different size. So on the Zephyr, it looks like this side is cut down and short, and on this one, it's that quite long one. So it's not a Zephyr copy. It's Zephyr-esque, I guess, because it's a quote-unquote BFS reel, and it's got the static brake system. It's I don't know what sets the Zephyr apart from any other reel, BFS reel out there, to be honest with you. It's a heavy reel. I don't have a weight on it. Maybe my scale can weigh it. Let's see. So with line and everything, your all-up weight is 171.3 grams. And let's see, what else is that? 6.053 ounces. So yeah, it's not a light reel by any means. It's got some heft to it. But yeah, it gets the job done. If you don't have a lot of money, you don't want to have a hole burn in your pocket, 20 bucks. It's 20 bucks shipped. It shipped fairly quickly. I got mine in about 2 weeks, and I'm out in SoCal. So from that buyer, yeah, what else can I say? It's a legitimate reel. Does it cast lighter weights than 5 grams? That I was not able to test. My inklings say that the sweet spot is probably between 3.5 to 5 grams. 3.5, I don't think you're going to cast very far. 5 grams, my guesstimate is like it casts 40 to 50 feet. But yeah, I'll try to get some more solid numbers on this reel for you guys, and I'll have a comparison to the other couple reels that I've got. If you have any questions or comments, or if you'd like to see, or if you want me to test anything in that future video, please leave a comment below. If you guys have any other ideas or suggestions on things you want to test or check out, yeah, leave it in the comments. And with that being said, thanks for watching, and I hope to have another teardown video of this guy and some other impression videos of the Jackson Kawasemi rod and the Aldebaran, and my thoughts on the Dark Wolf Ultra static braking system. Anyways, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.